We have one building that has 2 floors of head, neck, and back traumas. So we can't move them in a Malibu. So we had to go out and buy pneumatics that have a little bump on the side. So we put the patient in, we turn the air on, and it gets rigid so that the patient is protected from the air. So that's something we have to learn. Here we bring people in for refresher training, and here we have the kids from school coming in to learn. So we also teach the community. That's a really part of it because we are part of the community here. These are tools of the trade. So we have a gas detector, a fire blanket. We show the extinguisher seals, smoke detectors, flashlights, pull station. This is to release the doors. This is an annual call point, a whistle. This is the fire extinguisher simulator. So we're showing you what they have to do. In other buildings, we bought a whole bunch of brand new 15-liter foam extinguishers, and we have mock-ups all the time so we can demonstrate to the staff what they need to know, how the smoke detectors work, a dust detector, a pull station, a warden phone. This is very important that all your staff knows how to use the equipment on the wall when the equipment was no good. Okay, here we do a display all the time in various buildings, and we show the staff what the tools are. We make up boards. This is all the signs, they know how to read it. We just share things. Oh, here again, we have the kids from the school, we have the show and tell board. So this is how we're trying to get people with very good behavior. This is on the technical side. This is a clean agent gas that goes for electric fires. It will distribute. We have an abort switch, we have an activation. These are the instructions. The extinguisher has to match the system. And these are the nuances of the actual system. So we also have extract. So we can put a fan up and ventilate it out once the fire's done. All right, here, sometimes we have to go at night to get to the smoke detectors, and we're working at night, so we try to make it as safe as possible, but we can't do this during the day. So we're a 24-hour operation. Over here, we have the engineer working with this is the diesel fire pump, you can tell by the exhaust stack. And he's making sure that we do the bump test, we do all these different things. Over here, we're training our staff to understand what the penetration is. Because the seals do wear out, they do dehydrate, they have to be rated, they have to be certified by the applicator. And we make sure that everyone understands what they're looking for, so we bring in training for them. Here, we find things as we go through. It says, do not open this valve. Valve open or closed? It's open. So now we go back to the service tech and said, well, why would you leave the sign on? Or why was the valve open? This is inconsistent. Here we have a bird's nest on top of the valve. How long does it take to build a bird's nest? It could be from an hour to all day. It depends on the motivation of the bird that day. But we go through in the morning, every school is clean, and we come back in the afternoon, we have birds. This is one of the helipads. A helipad is ground-based. And we take heavier helicopters on ground-based helipads. Sikorsky 90s, those are the military units that come in sometimes. Every helipad has something like this. We have a hydrant. It's piped into the foam box. This is 36 gallons of AFFF foam. We have a hose. We have the adductor nozzle. Inside the box was the hydrant wrench. We have the liquid. We know how full it is. So these are things that are present that have to be maintained and checked out. We have the hose box, the cabinets there. We make sure that we have the nozzles that are present, the hydrant wrench to turn things on. This is a helid deck. A helid deck is roof-based. So we're limited to the Augusta 139 helicopters, which are about 13 tons. And we have automated nozzles that go back and forth, and we also run a hose line at the same time. All the helipads have helicopter crash boxes with a certain amount of rescue tools. We also go beyond what QATAR Civil Aviation Administration requires. We started looking at what other people do on a global platform, and we match that. So those are things that I'm sharing with you right now. Here we have hydrants. With the hydrants, how do you know it's working? Well, it's got to be labeled wet or dry, and then we do the testing with the pitot gauge. And that's what this is. It's one of the tools of trade. And then we want to see how much water we flow. And then a lot of times we get wet, we make a mess. But that's the price of doing business in fire protection, to make sure that your equipment works. And how do you make sure it works? Turn it on. Earlier you saw the hose reels that were being used. We used the landing valve, we used various things. Here we do confined space training with our members because we have vaults, and inside the vaults are smoke detectors, heat detectors, and various other things. So we want to make sure that our guys are trained to safely go into certain spaces. We want to make sure that everything is working and everybody is competent and confident. Here, things happen. So we went behind a contractor that left the glove on the smoke detector. Over here, the contractor installed the smoke detector too close to the vent. Should be what, 1 meter, 3 feet? He put it like 6 inches. So we come back, yo, excuse me, I'm not paying for this. You made a mistake, change it. Change it now. Here they painted, which is great, they're a little messy with the paint, but they pulled the conduit off the wire. So that's the first step towards failure. So we go back and we say, hey, listen, we need this repaired. Let's do a work order. We'll get it taken care of. Here, a gasket failed on the sprinkler system. Nobody did anything wrong. It's a very difficult climate here to work in where it gets very hot, things dry out, gaskets and whatnot. So now, once we figured out we had this one fail, the other end of the pipe, we did a second gasket, and after that, we came up with a capital project to start replacing all the gaskets in the system. Going back, this is critical equipment that we can't afford to have a downtime on. Okay? So it happens. Now, what we had to do here also is we had to implement a fire watch as per NFPA because we have a compromise in suppression. We had to shut something off to drain it, to put the new gaskets in, to recharge it, and that takes time. Here we bring in outside vendors. We brought in Fisher. Fisher's great. They will come to you for no money. And they will train your people, and they will give you toys, and they will buy you lunch. And they came to us and they said, we want to train you. Yeah, sure, come on in, great. And they came in, they built a mock-up of how to install and inspect fire ratings. And they had people come in and they spoke to us. I brought in 90 supervisors to come in and get trained. And we got them in front of the room, they did the training, everything worked out very well. Over here we had Hilti. Hilti's another great company, and they brought in a lot of technology, a lot of smartness, a lot of stuff going on. And they had these young ladies that were engineers. They were smart, they were brilliant. They came in, they were able to display things, they were able to explain things, they were able to answer questions. It was fabulous. We have a PE from Cinder here looking at different things, looking at the different tools. We have all my guys here looking at different things with these girls here. They had tools that they were showing. Then we had another guy showing virtual reality on how to actually run the BIM system, building information management, where they're looking at how to look at behind the wall by design. And by doing that, you get to eliminate conflicts, you get to eliminate mistakes. So if you have concealed space and you have ductwork, piping, and wiring coming into the same space, who wins? The ductwork is the first priority because you don't want to really make right turns. You want to give it a little bit of a flow. The wires you can bend and loop, the pipe, same thing. Pipes can be pushed, you can do right angles. Here we work with QATAR Civil Defense. We did a drill in Al Waqra Hospital. It was really good. We did a situation where we had it all set up. QCD came in, they set up our fire officers. They responded to a building. They got their tools. We went up and they were coming in to do live action. So it worked out pretty good. We had simulated patients that had to be evacuated. We had to sit down and do a hot wash afterwards. We also, here we're showing QATAR Civil Defense how to use our evacuation equipment. And this is the Silver Command that works with the state of QATAR, the National Incident Command Center, and System-Wide Incident Command Center. So we're dealing with a drill, we're getting ready for the World Cup, and we have our executives that are there, and they're talking with these people, and it worked out pretty good. We also have observers that are there to watch and see how the systems are working, and to make sure that we're dealing with things appropriately. Also, preparing for mitigation, we've identified areas we want the QCD to be standing at. We get space approved by QCD, and then they know where the building fire department connections are, where the landing valves are. This is a typical fire pump room. This is an electric pump because it's horizontal, so they close. Over here is a diesel pump. You can see the exhaust stack, and all the piping related to the sprinkler system is red. All the other non-critical is different colors. This is what a pitot gauge looks like. Where else would you find a pitot gauge? On the jets, they have it sticking outside the jet cockpit that gets the pressure from the air and tells the plane how fast it's going. It measures velocity. You don't have to use it for just water, you can use it for other things, all depends on how it's designed. Okay? Working with our fire contractor, this is a guy that's now looking at the valves you just saw earlier. You saw it on Mustafa's videos. And then what we did was we made our vendor make up a mock-up so we could take it on the floors and we could show nursing and other occupants how it works. They activate the pull station, or they throw smoke in the smoke detector, the panel kicks on, the light flashes, so it all works out well. We bring it in so we can show people on the board concisely how it works. Over here is hot work. We're doing other things. We have a ventilation stack going on. We have our permit, our contact numbers. We use a water gel blanket. We have a spill kit. There's an extinguisher. So there's a lot of things that we're dealing with. Also, we put protection on the floor. Sometimes they have to climb up. So we're looking at various things on how we're going to stay off the area and make it better for those that are actually doing the task. Okay, so we want to manage our contractors and deal with the work. Okay, here we went out with the Army and there was a vendor that was in town and they had this stuff called Glow Fire. It's not NFA approved, but it's pretty good stuff. It's from Canada. And what they do is it's either an extinguisher or a product you put in the water and it makes the water more efficient to put out the fire. So we went out to an Army base. The Army base has the same fire truck